everybody, nice to see you today. I'm glad you're with me. We're going to be talking about monthly favorites. This year I feel like I've been trying to get back on that routine of each month sharing some favorites. Maybe a couple times it's come in some different forms, sharing my travel favorites or this or that. But today we just have some favorites of the month. Some of them will be tried on because I have nothing on my face right now, but it's not going to exactly amount to a total full face. A few things to talk about first that are not makeup. And no, I'm not an eye doctor, but I do have an eye drop recommendation because I went through that whole eye infection and then I felt like a long bout of very dry eyes after using antibiotic eye drops. And I will tell you, there is a certain eye drop that really helped me. And I tried about 3 different kinds, but the Sustain Complete, that helped the dryness so much. I'm now to the point where I don't even need to use any extra eye drop. I had gone to my eye doctor and they had recommended like several different over-the-counter things that I could try, and the gel drops honestly didn't do that much for me, but something called Sustain Complete, it's just a normal textured eye drop, it's liquid. It ended up helping me the most, and I was using it like in the morning first thing when I'd wake up, like 15 minutes before I put my contacts in, and when I'd take my contacts out in the evening I'd put in a drop of that, and I kept up with that for maybe a week and a half, 10 days or so. And I noticed a real improvement. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. If you're having eye issues, that stuff really worked well for me. Also, the LA Colors Gel Polish. Now, I just took off the last thing that was on my nails, so hopefully today I can do my nails with one of these. But it all started with the shade On Natural, which I found at Family Dollar. It's a great basic everyday shade. I like the way this lasts on my nails. I can get usually close to a full week with it. And I'm using my hands pretty hard, and I feel like for being like a $1 and change nail polish, it's awesome. This may be the next one I try. It's a little more pinky than that first that I mentioned, and it's called Dusty Rose, and I ended up getting this at Walmart because Walmart carries all these too. And then the other day I was back at my Family Dollar. It's a combo Family Dollar and Dollar Tree. Well, we got word that all the Family Dollars are closing. They're doing a full clearance on the store, and they're going to remake it into some bigger version of Dollar Tree because currently it's that kind of split store thing, and all the stuff was half off. So I got these nail polishes for like 50 cents or 65 cents or something. I grabbed a couple more. This one is called Princess Vibes, and I wanted to try a shimmery one. Pink with a gold shift, and then I just got a classic red. This one's called Fierce. See, I'm into that formula. I think it wears well. I think 1 coat looks really good. 2 coats looks great. Especially the soft natural shade. Like, it doesn't show big time if it does start to chip off. And yeah, I'm into that. And I just was so impressed with the steal that I got when all that stuff was going half off. I even got a couple lipsticks too that were like 50 cents. And my other non-makeup thing that I already have on today is my Vanicream facial moisturizer with the SPF 30. So my sunscreen. I'm about out of my Bare Minerals Skin Longevity with the vitamin C SPF 30. And I just was thinking the other day, you've got this, maybe test this one out. So I still use, like at first I use my serums. I have my daily facial moisturizer. I don't know if they call it facial moisturizer, broad spectrum SPF 30. I could maybe just swap it out entirely. This is thicker though. This is thicker, even more hydrating, and I just put a thin amount of this on with my Vanicream, the actual cream, which I pumped into its own container, but I put that cream under my eyes and then I go on top with this. And I actually feel like it's really good. I feel very well prepped for my makeup that's to follow. But yeah, at first I thought, oh, it's so thick, it's so rich. But actually using this more and more lately, my skin has responded well to it. I haven't had breakouts or any problems. So yet another Vanicream product I can enjoy. And I do plan to get into their vitamin C serum as well. Now getting into the makeup, I'm all about the glowy primers. Really enjoying putting them on, seeing that glow, and then seeing like how they react underneath different foundations. Just like the new look I can achieve with various foundations on top with that glow underneath. Like I loved using the Rimmel Multitasker Better Than Filters under the Laura Geller Balance and Brighten. That was awesome. So that's one. I really love this one, the Rimmel Multitasker Better Than Filters. I wear the shade 003 Light. This one is very glowy, but yet it does also add some light coverage. And I just feel like this one looks absolutely gorgeous on my skin. Now, another one that I like, Catrice Soft Glam Filter Fluid. Okay, this I have in the shade 20 Light Medium. This is just softer all around. It gives that really sheer slight bit of coverage, but the glow is softer here. So if you're looking for a more subtle glow, you might like this. Also, somebody commented recently that they liked the shade range better in the Catrice. And then my number 3, kind of a rediscovered thing, but I've also been using my Lumi Glotions a lot. This is the medium glow. It's a classic. I would say with these, it's heavier on glow, lighter on coverage. It's not so much that combined idea of a foundation-y tone mixed in with the shimmer. And of course, the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1, an all-time fave, really, really thin. One of the lightest feeling ones on the skin, but does give you like that very sheer bit of coverage in with the glow. This one always has my heart. It's always good. It's just lately, these have been the ones that have been like moving it. So I'm going to put one of those on today. I think I'll do the Catrice just because I don't think I've used it on camera super recently. Again, it's called Soft Glam Filter Fluid. So you just swipe it on as much as you want. Like you could go back for multiple dips. I kind of just work with what initially comes out on the doe foot. And then I'm going to take a foundation buffing brush. This is mine from Profusion, and just work that in. And I feel like if you've watched me use the Rimmel multitasker better than filters, you may be able to detect the difference I'm talking about here. You're getting glow, but I feel like it's more subtle. It's just kind of a softer thing altogether. But see, it's really pretty on the skin, and it's just fun to see, like when you layer a foundation on top, what everything ends up looking like. Foundation wise, I don't think I could pinpoint one thing that I've really been using over and over. I've been on purpose trying to switch it up often, so I don't really have one specific foundation fave. So here's my whole point in all this. I just threw on a foundation. Today I use the LA Colors Truly Matte. Yes, a specific mattifying foundation. While I'm wearing high pigment foundation, shade is Natural. And that now, on top of the glowy primer, like you're still getting such a pretty glow, but really nice medium coverage now all over. So I think that looks so pretty, and it's just fun to use those glowy primers underneath and see what you get. Now, concealer. A certain concealer I have been getting into. It's high end, and I still have a lot of great drugstore concealers I love, but I've been really impressed under a lot of different situations with my Natasha Denona High Glam concealer. It's high glam like HY Glam. My shade is R2. This is a very brightening shade on me. It looks really like fresh on the under eyes, but I feel like I can pair this with most any base product, any powder on top. It's thin, but it does the job coverage wise, stays looking really fresh on my under eye area. This is not a totally out of the blue rave. Like, a lot of people love this stuff, but I'm kind of realizing like, yeah, it is the real deal. I'm putting it in all my concealer areas here. And today to blend, I'm going to use my little double-ended brush that I got from that TikTok shop set, and I'm using the slightly smaller angled end to blend this in. So we're spreading it around, we're making it take up more space. And then I can flip over to the larger side for like the dabbing in phase of things. But I feel like this is just a really excellent formula that just does its job on the coverage end, but on the longevity side of things and on the just working with whatever your skin is dealing with and whatever other kinds of products you've paired in, like it always looks good. It's like the concealer that has no asterisks beside it, like, oh, but you need to make sure you do this, or you need to make sure you apply it this way. I mean, I actually did like a decent swipe there on the inner corner. It's not gonna look heavy. Just a really good, really advanced formula. If you look it up on Sephora's website, it's called High Glam Brightening and Hydrating Medium to Full Coverage Crease Proof Serum Concealer. That's the full name. They even say it's supposed to depuff. I didn't even know that. But they talk about the natural finish. They talk about up to 19-hour wear. They're talking about seeing clinically backed results after 28 days in terms of a reduction in dark circles and less puffiness. There are things that this is good for that I haven't even really realized, but what I do know is just the day-to-day use of the product. It's doing two things that I really want, which is covering well and then wearing well. Another big time favorite for me this month, and yes, I'm still testing like my Neutrogena Hydro Boost loose powder, but I've been loving this Wet n Wild so much. They put out their Photo Focus loose powder in a soft pink shade, in case you've missed some videos. It's really good. I have always enjoyed the formula of the regular powder, and then this just kind of brightens you on another level. Whoa, I tapped a ton into my cap, but I'm just using my little little triangle powder puff, and I'm going to set my under eye with this. You can see it's pink. It's not like an ultra pigmented. As soon as you put it on your skin, you're going to be thinking pink. You're going to be thinking bright. That's going to be your takeaway as you put it on. But I can use this all around my T-zone. I just think Wet n Wild did a really good job with this, and it makes me definitely want to use it over the regular version that they have. See, it's just really like smoothing. It's doing a great job. And then I just grab my Morphe under eye bullet brush. This is just my normal routine. Sometimes I experiment with other complexion routines, but today just setting that concealer immediately so you can really see that amazing result from the combination of those couple of products. And I mean, it's glowy primer that's still giving the surface of the skin a little bit of glow, but then we threw on a matte foundation. We've got a great concealer. We've set it with powder. The fun thing was like plug in any foundation really. So yeah, that's where the face is at right now. The only thing I've done to my skin since you last saw me, I used a contour stick. I switch up the product a lot. Today it's the Rare Beauty one, and the shade is called Good Energy. So this contour stick, I just swiped it around like my normal contour zones. And then this is the kind of unlikely favorite. This City Bronzer from Maybelline, the shade is 300. It looks like a shade that I wouldn't typically go for. Like this is a powder bronzer, but it looks so like sunny on my skin. So actually sun-kissed, like actually using a bronzer as bronzer. So usually the manner in which I'll use this is I'll do something to cream contour with, and maybe that thing is a little bit cooler, but then I go in with this stuff and it just like livens me up. It's a matte bronzer. Like I said, shade is 300. It looks in the pan to be maybe like a little too sunny, or I don't know, not cool enough to work. But when I apply it, I feel really happy with the result. And I bought this, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago on someone else's recommendation, and they were kind of a different skin tone than me, and I'd use it occasionally, but kind of set it aside. And then this year I've realized, no, just like layer it on top, because it always gives that kind of naturally bronzy sun-kissed thing. So I'm going, for example, on my cheeks, I'm practically putting it where I'd put blush. I'll go around the sides of my nose. It's like I'm merging off of where the contour was applied, but ultimately it's going more where the sun would hit. And then since it is just like a deeper tone, I can come down this way too. And I feel like, you know, my light here is very bright. I feel like I look into my mirror and I'm seeing even more bronziness than I'm seeing head on into my light, but I really like this stuff, you know, like it's been working well for me, and I like that tone. It's just making me feel a little sun-kissed, and paired with a deeper and or cooler contour shade, I feel like it really works. Alrighty friends, while it may seem crazy, I haven't had like a specific blush favorite. I've bounced around with blush about as much as I've bounced around with foundations. So I popped on a blush that I always like. It's the Infallible Confident Pink. Such a great shade, applied lightly there. I feel like it kind of makes the bronzer make sense once you see the blush on. And then this highlighter I put on today is Too Faced Moon Crush in the shade Summer Moon. So it's a little more goldeny than my other Moon Crush shade. Can you see that? But it's still applied sheer. It totally works on my skin tone. I put on some of my e.l.f. Power Grip Setting Spray, which I really like that. I do think it makes a difference in the appearance of the skin, the kind of glow factor of the skin. Did my brows. I used Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I also popped on some Benefit Gimme Brow, their tinted gel on top of that. Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer, which I probably could say this is a favorite. I feel like I've used this, has it been about a month that I've been testing it? Close to a month probably, and I enjoy it so much. It's just another good option up there along with Milani for me. It's just a little more neutralizing to the eyelids. Like I just put this on and it probably looks like I have concealer all over my lids, but this does something in terms of the tone. It's a little thicker than Milani, but it's been working well for like the longevity of my eye makeup. I haven't noticed creasing or any problems, and it's going to be a little less expensive than the Milani. So definitely something to look out for. Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer. And with eyeshadow palettes, there's another area where I do feel like I've bounced around quite a bit. I've enjoyed my smaller palettes so much this past month too, because I've gone through through kind of a reorganization effort, and it's been good for me. It's allowed me to have a better awareness of what I have. But one of my best rediscoveries of the month has actually been this little palette from Revolution. It's their Reloaded Velvet Rose palette, and I believe you can find this at Target, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Reminds you a lot of the ABH Soft Glam palette, and the looks I do with this turn out so good. It's just like a great combo of mattes, shimmers, and all the shimmers are like sensible. They're not flaky, they're not going to give you a hard time. So I'm just going to go over to this little guy right here, this matte, and start building that up in my crease. And while it is a 5, 10, 15 shade palette, I don't feel overwhelmed by it. I feel like I jump into it and I got options, but yet I also know exactly where I can go with it. I'm familiar with the functions of these kinds of shades. So this is just my Profusion crease brush. Getting that in here. We've got a big cheer weekend ahead of us. Oh, I just dipped into this one. Sorry, I didn't say. A little bit darker yet. And just get that into the crease. 2-day competition, second to last competition of the season. The first day of competition counts for 25% of the score. The second day counts for 75%. Amping up the drama. I really like the texture of these mattes. They're so smooth. They're pigmented, but yet, I don't know, I would say I feel a little more in control of this palette than I do the actual ABH Soft Glam. Even though that palette is stunning, it's just this I can use in a little bit more carefree way, if that makes sense. Going to this like yellowish peach, and that's just going to come up above everything that was put on. Thank you for bringing me your sloth. There are some toys that she brings me, and I know she wants me to throw it so she can fetch it, and then there are other things like her little sloth that I know she's presenting to me as a present. I'm talking about Biscuits the cat. And then we got this light ivory kind of color. Let's just get this up under the brow. Flat brush coming in. I'm going to go to this shade right up top. You know, it looks brownish, but also like brownish burgundy. This could be a great fall palette, couldn't it? But I also just see it in, I think, anytime neutrals. These type of shades could work for anyone, for any time. And they give you that range. You know, there's enough darkness in here for you to think, yeah, it could go deep and dark. You got a black, but you also got a lot that's not black, too. Okay, we're patting this shade on the outer lid, taking the crease brush, soften it up a bit. And then I can really help my placement out a bit more by going into the same shade with a more precise brush, like small pointed, and look, like that area of my crease, that little area just above the crease on the outside was lacking. And so this brush can come in and really just put it right where you want it to be. So I'm working with that same color that I patted on with a flat brush, but now with a different brush. You know, we're getting that different look, a little softer, but placement. Placement is everything. Working upward, working a little bit outward, but being careful not to droop it down under that imaginary line, right? And then, in the spirit of wearing pink today, I'm going to go to this like pinky shade right in the middle. Smaller flat brush. And we're just going to use that on the inner lid. The shimmers are just normal shimmers, okay? Nice, easy, quality kinds of shades. You know what you're going to get with them. And this isn't ultra pink, but it might even just give kind of a rose gold look a little bit. But that's the thing I really notice about this palette, is how you can go a little bit rosier with things, and then you also have that golden direction too with some of the different shimmers, and just like Soft Glam does. I'm wanting to see some of that shade. I'm just kind of obsessed with a maroony brown. I'm going to go ahead and take that to my lower lash line with the small pointed brush. Smoky, defined, but light. And yeah, that's my eye look with one of my favorite things that I've rediscovered this past month. I just applied a coat of my upper mascara, my Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect. I'm really going through that right now. But this has probably been the big thing of the month mascara wise is the fact that I've basically replaced Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water with e.l.f. Lash Extender. It's a tubing mascara. It's drugstore price, and I just feel like you can't really beat that. It gives me the look I want there on the lower lashes, which is gently defined but not super thick. And yeah, it's just kind of one of those why would you not types of situations. If you need a tubing mascara, you want something that's going to be easy to remove at the end of the day, but you don't want any possibility of smudging while you're wearing it, I feel like I can totally recommend this. Like, I've used it so much, it does not smudge. Lip favorites, let's talk. I have been big into the Too Faced Kissing Jelly glosses, and it's not for practical reasons, y'all. Like, I want to smell the smells, and I think the shine is pretty. They're not long wearing. I like the feel if I don't get too much on, but they're just pretty, okay? They're pretty layering pieces, and I definitely think Pina Colada might be my favorite. It looks goldeny there. Ah, the scent is so good. You can see like a slight goldeny shimmer, but you understand what I'm saying there when I say there's not really color involved. But there will be some really good shine, you know, if you top something off with one of these. I like Bubblegum, so this one looks pink, and it's gonna look like it has this more pronounced like pinky shimmer, so it adds a pinky look to whatever it goes on top of. And then I've been getting also into the one called Raspberry. Ugh, the smell. Like, the smells are so on point. And this is very, very sheer, but has just a tinge of berry to it. Definite layering pieces, definite like shiny glosses, but they're fun, and that's why I like those. They've really made their way in for me. Hi, Biddy. Biddy lost a tooth.
I got $5.
Tooth Fairy left her some dollars. Is Nookie up too?
No, I just heard you were doing a video, so I wanted to show them my tooth.
Or lack of tooth. So the glosses are one thing, but my last thing I want to talk about is kind of like lip combo, lip products that have been a great find. And I haven't had them that long, but my enthusiasm for them is so high. And ever since I have had them, I've been interested in wearing them. So I'm talking about my LA Colors stuff. I got into LA Colors at Walmart, and I did this whole lip combo that I loved in my LA Colors video. It was the lip pencil in the shade Natural, which is just a great basic. Let me swatch it. Who couldn't use this kind of a medium nude shade, right? And then I got the lipstick in Melted Nude. Absolutely perfect. The closest thing I compared it to was the L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in Worth It Medium. It's got that little mauve-y twist to it. Absolutely love it. And then this holographic gloss, or the iridescent holographic gloss, shade is Heavenly. I've realized what it smells like. It smells like you've just mixed up a cake mix, like a funfetti cake mix, and you smell that vanilla. Really nice. And it's a straight up nude gloss that really isn't all that sheer. You know, it has some sheerness, but it's also coming to be seen. And it's got that embedded kind of shimmer. It's not like wildly shifty, but maybe a slight shift with gold and pink tones in that extremely fine shimmer. So I've been impressed with that. I've been wanting to, like, if I'm doing a touch-up, I'm wanting to grab for these things. And then I mentioned how they're kind of reorganizing the Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, and over on the Family Dollar side, I found some of the same lipsticks, but in a couple more shades. I scored these for 50 cents, y'all. I mean, they're a great deal at full price, but I got the shades Rum Raisin and Rosewood. I'm gonna swatch those and then decide what I'm gonna put on today. Here's Rum Raisin. Really berry, you know, great classic berry. And then I grabbed Rosewood, which is looking more pinky, and these are just a cream formula lipstick that does feel an awful lot like Revlon Super Lustrous. I think I'm going for the pink today. So I'm gonna use just my nude lip liner, or it's called Natural. LA Colors lip liner pencil in Natural. This was like 98 cents at Walmart. Yes, I love a hidden gem. Cheap find that's really good. That's my place. That's my place in the makeup world. It's like I'm talking about Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. Like, wow, guys, this concealer's really good. And it is so good, but this is like the real info here. I've got like a gentle outline there because when it's a nudish lip liner, it can kind of work alongside anything. And then I'm going to take Rosewood. She's creamy. She's like pinky berry. Oh, isn't that nice? A good cream lipstick. Love that. And then I could take maybe one of my Too Faced things. Let's take a little bit of the Bubblegum. I think this is going to be fun considering we're so pinky today. Look at that. Takes it to another level. Like that shifty little pink look on top. Love it. The process should be bringing you joy. Got my lashes in an upturned place. I'm so happy with the look today, you guys. I've got these little flyaways here too that just don't want to lay down, but the eye is very basic, very me. The complexion just turned out wonderfully well. And isn't it fun how it's like plug in any foundation, but you got that glowy primer there, you got a concealer you love, you got a setting powder you love, and it's gonna come together. I can see that bronzer working for me. I'm loving that lip look today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video where it's kind of a PC try on, but you know, we got the face together, and these are just some of the products I'm loving. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you soon. I love you. Bye.